Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Nazura binti Ibrahim. My matric card number is 1170712. I am representative from Group 3, KMA2. So I will start with the introduction for our group. So as we know, the increasing cases of COVID-19 has affected the economic world. So the Malaysia has issued a 2 weeks movement control order known as MCO, where the most of the business and the service are required to shut down. So the government has imposed penjana as a short-term economy recovery plan. So on 5 June 2020, under the penjana program, the government has introduced Suku Prihatin. Suku Prihatin is initiative in response to the public request to participate and contribute to the rebuilding of the nation post COVID-19. So there are three main objectives in the Suku Prihatin, which is to empower the rakyat. The second one is proper business, and the last one is to strengthen the economy.
Next, I will continue to the contribution of Suku Prihatin. Before that, I'm your Sohaila binti Zainuddin, 1170711. Okay, first, Suku Prihatin was Malaysia's first ever digital suku, where it is Sharia compliant suku that are open to be subscribed by the public and corporates via online banking channel, namely JomPay and Duit Now. Besides, the minimum subscription for the first investment is RM500 with an interest of 2% per annum for a tenure 2 years. Then interest will be credited to subscribers or investor account every quarter for the period of the tenure. After the tenure ends, subscribers or investor can opt to fully donate the interest to COVID-19 fund and will be given tax relief depending on the size of the donation. Okay, after that, the fund raised would be used to improve telecommunication network in the rural area to help the student get access to their education through digital channels. Then the fund also can provide further assistance or financing to the micro, small and medium enterprises, especially women entrepreneurs. And last, it is also can give a grants for healthcare sectors research on infectious disease.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Akina binti Muhammad. So today I will explain about the structure of Suku Prihatin and the flow of Suku Prihatin. So Suku Prihatin is using principle of tawarruk. First, the government of Malaysia will issue the Suku Prihatin, and second, the bank will be as distributor and will distribute to the investors. Third, the investors will get a certificate as the evidence of ownership, and they are entitled to receive periodic profit payments based on the principal amount they invest. And the last is the investors will get back their principal amount of investment upon its maturity date. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Ainur Amira. So I will proceed with the payment for the final settlement of the principal amount of Suku Prihatin for Suku holders. As we can see from the slide above, that the payment for the final settlement amount of the principal to the Suku holders should be made by the primary distribution bank, either via giro, which is for amount less than 1 million, or by rentas, which is amount more than 1 million. Example of how the profit payment is calculated using the formula similar to other government securities. So as the formula given, that profit payable equal to profit rate times nominal value times 1 divided to frequency of payment times actual divided to actual. So we can assume that the profit rate is 2% and the nominal value is 1000. The calculation for profit payment may be illustrated as above. 2% times 1000 times 365 days times 365 days times 365 days divided by 365 days equal to 20 ringgit Malaysian. However, since profit is paid quarterly, so the profit payment per payment period is 20 ringgit Malaysia times 1/4 times 90 days divided by 90 days equal to 5 ringgit Malaysia. Thus, the profit will be paid to investors quarterly until maturity date of the Sukuk Prihatin. However, the amount that are entitled to the Sukuk holders at maturity date is different if the Sukuk holders decided to opt to waive their principal amount in part only. The principal amount due at maturity date shall be calculated as above. Amount due at maturity date equal to initial investment amount minus amount waived in part at maturity date. I will give an example, which is Encik Kamal subscribed to 10,000 of Sukuk Prihatin and decided to waive 3,000 of the principal amount due at maturity date as part of his contribution to the approved government trust account. Therefore, the amount of principal that he will receive on the maturity date will be as above. We can see that the initial investment is 10,000, meanwhile the amount of waived in part at maturity date is 3,000. Therefore, the amount due at maturity is 10,000 minus 3,000 equal to 7,000 ringgit Malaysia.
And I will explain the related issuance of Sukuk Prihatin with SDG. The SDG are designed to be the blueprint for a better and more sustainable future for all. Next, the government launched the Sukuk Prihatin to aid the country's economic recovery amid the COVID-19 pandemic. So, my group conclude that the issuance of Sukuk Prihatin is closely related to SDG. For the SDG number 3, good health and well-being. This goal seeks to ensure health and well-being for all at every stage of life. Hence, the SDG very suitable to be related with Sukuk Prihatin in order to overcome the COVID-19 epidemics. Next is SDG number 8, decent work and economic growth. This goal promotes sustained, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment and decent work for all. This Sukuk Prihatin really help with the economic growth because if buying Sukuk, everyone give money in a small amount collected in aggregate into a large capital fund for the use of target group in the post-COVID-19. Lastly, SDG 11, Sustainability City and Communities. This goal makes city and human settlement inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. Hence, this fund are used to improve facility in urban and rural areas. That's all from me. Thank you.
So next slide, I will talk about the SRI and Green Sukuk. In 2014, the Security Commission on Non-SC has introduced the Sustainable and Responsible Investment, which is SRI Sukuk framework. So SRI Sukuk is to facilitate financing need for projects that meet the requirement of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or known as SDG. So one of the areas that is associated with the SRI is the environment and its preservation. So therefore, the green bond has become a common instrument to serve this aspect of SRI in the global market. So in July 2017, under the SRI framework, Malaysia Tadas Energy is the world's first green sukuk that has been introduced. So the introduction of the green sukuk is a mark as another significant milestone in a product innovation that strengthens the Malaysian position as a leading Islamic finance marketplace. That's all from us. Thank you.